Hey, welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Glad to have you here today on Freaky Friday with Freaky Drive Safe Dave. Dude, freak it up for us, baby.
I don't even know how do you get freaky on Friday right at the final second? You know what? Did you prep for freaky? Did you prep freaky?
You know what? You have to be a little freaky on Friday. I'm just saying.
We need light. Hey, change the light action up for just a second. Give me some Freaky Friday. That's what I'm talking about. There's your Freaky Friday,
There you go.
Okay.
Ask and you shall receive right here on BCB Live. You know what? We're the safest station in the nation, and it's nothing that we do right here. It's what you're doing out there on the road. It's that intent to be safe. We heard it yesterday, Drive Safe Day, from Kenny Ray, right?
We did.
The passion behind a risk guy. I mean, a risk? I mean, safety, is there anything more boring than safety is what many people, and Dave, I think, it's not boring at all. And when you see and hear what Kenny had to say yesterday.
Absolutely.
Passion.
Absolutely.
We got more comments, more feedback on his passion than I've ever seen anywhere. Emails coming directly to us.
I got text messages from drivers texting me directly. Shout out to some of you guys that texted me directly about Kenny. Did enjoy the show. Said stuff like great show. I just want to make sure hey, yeah, you know what? And we'd like to hear it when you get a good reception or you get a good feeling about an interview or somebody you're talking to. Let us know. Right? Because that means for sure we're bringing Kenny back. Kenny's coming back for a repeat
Kenny don't
show.
Have a choice. Kenny, you're coming back like you're not. We're going to get you penciled in there. But listen, you can watch that entire interview. And, you know, when you watch it on LinkedIn or some of these others, we don't share the whole thing. But watch it on YouTube. Understand that you can go to the YouTube, BCB Live, follow us, like us, and watch the entire video on that. Dave, it was tough for me, for you, for most of us, to not have a tear in our eye.
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm over here. I was eating popcorn while he was telling the story, and then at the end, you walk away with a small tear, and you know, he pulls a good story together, doesn't he?
He does. And you know what? Let me tell you. You know how you can tell you do a good job is when you and I are just shutting up and listening. Right? We're not in it.
Yeah, you got 10 more minutes.
This is our show. How dare you talk too long?
We were like, yeah, you got 10 more minutes. You're good.
Football games this weekend. We got the big games. You know what? We did it last week, and many of you are homeless this week because you bet the house on some of our bets. I'm sorry, but if you can double down on it this weekend, I'm going with the Chiefs, Drive Safe Dave, and the Los Angeles Rams to win, to cover the points. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you know, I'm after watching Kansas City last week, and then, but I did like the way the Bengals played. It's going to be a good game, but I'm taking the KC at home, and I am going to take the Rams as well. I thought the Rams are going to go all the way to the Super Bowl.
You know what? I'm not. Them 49ers haven't impressed me. They shouldn't have beat the Cowboys. They shouldn't have beat Green Bay. They're not going to win this game. I know we got those saying their defense is strong. The guy throws the ball like the quarterback can't.
Garoppolo.
Forget it. He's out. Nothing's going to happen on that. I will say this too. I go with the Chiefs, not just because Mahomes and how they played last week. I think as a quarterback, Dave, that quarterbacks have to they learn things as they lose these games. For Burrows, he hasn't been in the game yet. The natural step is to lose and to learn from it and win that fall. It's tough to win your first year going out there,
Absolutely.
Right? It's just a tough thing.
Yeah, you don't even know what you're doing, but I'm telling you that what a whole great weekend last weekend was on playoffs.
Oh, my God.
Every game was
Top it this week, please. We saw the greatest games ever last week. Today, Dave, we're going to move into this week. We have a great show today.
I'm ready.
We have more technology talking about.
Oh, yeah, interesting stuff, too.
Yeah, to make the distractions real. And I'm going to talk about a distraction real quick. Dave, I'm embarrassed. I'm mad.
Why?
I don't know. It bothers me so much. So I'm coming into work today, and I'm focused on coming into work. There's nothing there, and then we get to that Heritage Parkway, right? You know how it all goes.
Oh yeah, crazy.
It all goes back and it merges into one lane because they're doing all this construction. Only it's not like that anymore.
Right.
No, Dave. You go straight.
Yeah. But then right before it gets to Maine, it comes to one for a second.
But where it's always merged there, it goes straight, and I merged.
Oh no!
Swear to God. I go into the lane, and these cars are are like they're in my lane because we're supposed to split this lane, only we're not because I'm supposed to stay over here. There's a police officer that watches me go by, doesn't turn his sirens on or anything. I think he forgot about it. So I'm going down. These cars are coming at me. I move over to the side, let them turn back around, get back on the right side of the road and go. But Dave, I obviously was distracted, right? Creatures of habit. We come to stop signs many times and we don't stop at stop signs because nobody's ever there. Going up Heritage Parkway, you know what? We've always been complaining. We see it on videos. As a matter of fact, we go and we have to make that kind of left turn, get into one lane, but it was open and I went the wrong way. Distractions, folks, they're real. And Dave, I wasn't on my phone. I was just focused on getting to work, trying to, and I missed it going straight.
You were on autopilot mode.
I was on autopilot. There you go.
You were on autopilot. It's just like sometimes when you're headed home, you just know where you're not even thinking about how you're driving. And that is a distraction because you're in the routine and your mind's elsewhere and not in the moment. Your mind's elsewhere. And I know you were probably thinking about work. You were probably thinking something, but I'll tell you, you get complacent about it. Man, and let me ask you a question. Did anybody honk at you, or did you get a honk?
No, I honestly, probably people coming at me like, well, are we in the right lane? I think
we've been there every morning, and they're like, whoa, wait, I didn't see that. I thought it was different.
No, it was bad. And you know what? Again, Dave, we think about our drivers out there. We think about you out there that are doing. I have a 8-minute, I'm exaggerating a little bit, ride into work. They're doing it for 10 hours, Dave, out there on the road. And somehow, while I'm struggling coming in, you hold that CDL. You're the big guy. You're the NBA player. You're the best of the best. You've got to somehow keep your mind focused because all it takes in that 10, 11 hours that you're driving is a moment like I had today coming in, and bad things can happen.
Rick, I mean, I hate to break it to you, and I know it's you probably haven't been told this, but
I'm human.
You're human. Oh yeah, no one told you. And let me tell you, the greatest thing to realize too is who we have out here. Every time they get behind the wheel, they're human too.
Gotcha.
And you got to make sure that we all understand, no matter how awesome you are, and no matter how great you are, you're still human and prone to make a mistake.
Hey, listen, we're going to take a break here. It's going to take me a good 60, 70 seconds to really digest this.
Woo!
I am human. That are you saying I can make mistakes?
Absolutely.
I can make mistakes right here on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. We're joined today with Barry. Barry, how you doing, sir?
Good morning, guys. Great to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, Barry, I saw that we had ping on, and I'll be honest with you. My first thing was, I'm getting me a new set of golf clubs. Yeah. You know what? I'm pumped up. I'm saying, I got some golf clubs.
A set of pings. It'll work.
I'm going to work me out some new pings into this in some form. But, hey, Barry, that's not at all what your ping is. Tell us a little bit about your company.
Yeah, so ping is the sound that your phone makes when you get a message, right? And what happens is you get a surge of dopamine to the brain saying someone needs something from you right now. And that's distraction. Even if you don't look at your phone, you're cognitively distracted. Your brain is now thinking about the phone and the message and who it could be and not the road. And so when we started thinking about the concept of how do we solve distraction on the roads, we really thought about it from the human perspective, not from the fleet perspective. What is it that the driver needs to eliminate that distraction, that cognitive distraction? And in commercial vehicles, there's no CarPlay, there's no Android Auto. Whereas in a Toyota Corolla, you get CarPlay and it reads your text to you. It doesn't do it very well, but there is a way for you to get your texts. And when you think about trucking as the lifeblood of our economy, these guys and girls are on the roads for hours at a time and their phone is pinging, it's buzzing. And it could be a text from the kid saying, hey, Dad, I hit a home run today. Or, hey, Mom, I got an A+ in my test today. You said it just earlier, we're all humans. We have emotions. And the average person looks at their phone 150 times a day, except they're not allowed to do it when they're driving. And so really what we did was build some technology to keep people safely connected to those incoming messages, just the important ones, not the spam and the everyday emails that go out to millions of people, just the messages that could potentially change your day or even change your trip. And so our technology is a voice platform, an app that reads those messages out loud to you.
And what brought you to this concept, this deal? What brought you to this technology? What made you want to do this?
So it's interesting. It was a little bit of personal need, but my business partner and I, who had run a previous software company together, were both finding ourselves checking our devices, even with kids in the back seat. And the phone would buzz and you'd kind of just glance down. And if it was a message that was work related or family related, we'd probably spend an extra 2 to 4 seconds looking at it. And while doing that, the car was driving itself for a couple of 100 yards without us being in control of the vehicle. And so we started looking for technology out there that could solve this problem for us. And the more aware we became of our own problem, the more aware we became of people outside of our vehicle doing the same thing. And when we do the research in the trucking sphere, there are no fender benders. When an 18-wheeler has a crash, there are serious injuries, often fatalities, and huge costs involved. And when we went down to Washington, D.C. and met with NHTSA, we found out that the cost of distracted driving to the U.S. economy is $129 billion a year. And nobody's doing anything meaningful about it. They're putting billboards up on the side of the highway saying, don't text and drive. Well, that's not gonna work. So being a 5-time entrepreneur, I said, this needs to be fixed with a technology solution, a tech solution for a tech problem. And that's where we started in 2016.
I love that part. And you bring up being a 5-time entrepreneur. When we do that entrepreneurship, and you out there that are doing these, you know, that's the lifeblood, I believe, of this country too, because with it comes, it's not just a job, right? It's passion. And behind this technology, there's passion out there to really make a difference in this industry, you know, from this distracted driving. That's just crazy right now when you think about the cell phones, you know, and it's not just the phones, the technology. We talk about it here all the time on BCB Live. It's what's going on at home. It's life that can be a distraction as well. And your technology gives us that opportunity to not take our eyes off the road, right? But to hear that message. And I got a question for you on that, because I heard you say that. Is it robotic? Does it have some emotion behind that when it's reading that text?
Does it have your accent?
So we actually use the phone's voice technology, and they're getting better every time. So whether you have a Samsung or a Pixel or an iPhone, there are usually between 40 and 50 different accents and voices that you can choose from. It's not the old robotic voice. So yes, you could choose an accent like mine. I don't know that you would want to, but yeah.
Oh, I like that.
There's no Homer Simpson and there's no Morgan Freeman, unfortunately, yet.
There's no Morgan Freeman. Yeah. Oh, that would be good.
Not yet. So when it reads those, and you bring up the spam, it doesn't read the spam. How does it identify?
Yeah.
How does it know to so like this right here? Is there a setting that says, hey, my girlfriend's in the car, is in the truck with me today, don't read messages from my wife or anything like that?
You are 100% correct. There is such a setting. We call it read aloud and announce. So announce tells you that you have a new message, but doesn't read the message. So it says, you have a new message from John Smith. Hopefully that's the name of your girlfriend in your phone. Or it'll, if you're in read mode, it'll read everything, the full message. in the case of an email, you can set up parameters like just read me the first 30 seconds of the email. After that, I pretty much know what it's going to tell me. There are even auto replies, and the auto reply goes towards reducing FOMO, the fear of missing out, right? So FOMO happens on both sides of the message. You get a message, and now you know you're not allowed to look at it because it's illegal. But also the person that sent you the message is wondering why you haven't replied. So the auto reply says, hey, I've listened to your message, but I'm driving. I'll reply when it's safe to do so. And now nobody's expecting an immediate reply, which is great. And you can change that up to whatever you want.
Yeah, you when you think about that, because that's true, right? That fear of missing out. You gotta, you want to make sure if you sent the message that they read it, and again, when you read a message, they get it back. What about the reply on that? Is that can you reply while you're doing that? Is it a listen only?
So there's a lot of research around voice to text. And if you've ever tried to use voice to text on your own phone and you're speaking to Siri or Google Assistant, 9 times out of 10, that message gets pretty messed up anyway. Yes. And now when your phone's on the other side of the dashboard and you're kind of leaning in to get the message across, the likelihood of it being an accurate message is pretty poor. So we deliberately took the decision not to embed voice-to-text replies into our technology. It doesn't prevent you from using your phone's own voice assistant, Siri, Bixby, Google Assistant, so that when the message comes out as garbage, you can blame your phone and not the Ping app. But we also looked at it from the cognitive perspective. When you start dictating a message and you lean into that invisible microphone somewhere on the dashboard, your brain is no longer driving that vehicle. So the automated reply that says, I'm driving, I'll reply when it's safe to do so, is the first version. We have 4 commands that you can give saying, I'm driving, or I'll get you later, or delete, or pause. Those are the actions that the driver can take, and then call the sender back. That is a significantly safer way to respond than trying to voice a message back.
You're the audience that you're trying to capture, is that the fleet? Is that the independent contractor? Who are you focused on with the software?
Most of the fleet safety technology out there is for the fleet. It's not for the driver. Mm-hmm. And we specifically built this thinking about the amount of time that someone spends behind the wheel, particularly truck drivers. And we've said, this is for you, the driver. This is going to enable you to stay safely connected. And the question that you asked earlier is, can you filter messages? Yes. You select only the message types and the sender or subject that you want to listen to. Everything else you can check when you're parked. This enables...
Go ahead. I almost interrupted you. I didn't mean to.
Okay. So this enables the driver to stay safely connected to family, but also potentially work opportunities. If you get an email or a text saying there's a load going from New Jersey to Indiana, do you want it? And you've already blown by that exit, you've missed the opportunity to make money. So this is for everyone to keep them away from their phones, but also stay in touch so that they're less stressed and they're able to potentially pick up more business.
Well, and is this just restricted to the email and the text messages, or are you developing this into the other apps that are on the phone and other ways that people communicate? Because there's a million ways that people now seem to be able to communicate.
Yeah, so today we have over 50 different message types, from WhatsApp and Slack and Teams and others to push notifications.
Wow.
One of our clients is in the food delivery industry, so think the gig economy. And they have their own driver app, similar to an Uber Eats or a DoorDash. And inside that app is a push notification system that sends messages to the driver saying, don't ring the doorbell, the baby's asleep, or the entrance is at the back of the factory. And all of those messages are now being read out loud using our technology so that the driver can focus on the road and the drop-off.
Good stuff. And when you think about your software and you think about the amount of nuclear accidents, right, that we've had in this industry, in our industry, it's out of control. These billion-dollar now lawsuits that are going on, while it can't, it's not gonna. It should, right? I mean, the purpose of this is if you have this, maybe that distraction doesn't occur to where you're not involved in an accident. And when accidents happen, today, unfortunately, boy, they're huge. They're hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion, right?
Well, you probably saw that $1 billion verdict that happened in Florida last year against 2 trucking companies, and it was $100 million in damages to the parents of the 18-year-old that was killed, and $900 million in punitive damages against the 2 trucking companies. Now, those damages are designed to put companies out of business. They're not paying the $900 million; they're just gone. You know, whether you're a 4th-generation trucking company or an owner-operator, that level of verdict is shutting the business down altogether. But it's also sending a message to say you cannot drive distracted. You will be, put to the fire. And so, this is exactly the reason that we've built technology so that it can safely communicate messages in real time without people having the urge or the need to look at their device.
That was and if you want to get this type of technology, where do you go and how do you get there?
Yeah, so we've got 2 versions of the software. One is for fleets. And in addition to enabling the fleet to customize which message types will be read out loud, they also have the option to install driver coaching. Driver coaching gives the driver a score out of 10 on 5 metrics, from speeding to harsh braking to touching their phone and others. And that same level of data can be shared with the fleet manager so they can manage risk safely and effectively. But for the owner-operator or the individual, they can just go to the Play Store or the App Store and search for Ping Loud and download the app. We're not in the business of charging a fortune for the software. It's $2 a month. And what is $2 worth your time and safety and making sure that you get home after every trip? I think so.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Barry, I want your comments on this. I know we're running out of time here, but when we think about the nuclear axis, what I'm really believe what they're trying to tell the trucking industry is this: is no longer is it okay for you to have a cell phone policy that you just hand out, and when something bad happens, you go, well, we told them not to be on the phone. Right. It's our policy. It's in our handbook here. I think what we're saying is, hey, listen, there's technology out there that you can do more than just have it in your policy book. There are ways that you can put it out there for your drivers to encourage them, or to take that take the extra step, to take that temptation away for them to get on the phone. What are your thoughts on that?
I think you're 100% correct. Right when the pandemic hit and people spent more time on the couch than they wanted to, they spent their time with the phone in their hand. And now you transfer that behavior into the vehicle, and it's almost subconscious. When your phone pings, you grab it, even though you know you shouldn't, or that you forgot that you were driving. And so there needs to be a more proactive approach for corporations and individual drivers. Take responsibility for your own behaviors. Sure. And there is technology out there. So don't put it in a handbook and do nothing about it. Putting it in a handbook is basically telling your insurance company, we have a policy. Nobody's allowed to use their phones. We're all grown-ups here. We know that that doesn't happen. So implement the technology to remove the risk and save more lives.
All right. Hey, Barry, I want to thank you again for joining the show. One thing we ask all of our guests to do is to announce your name. You can say who you're with, but you got to say this: BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Well, gents, thank you so much for having me. I'm Barry Arnold from Ping, and it's been a pleasure. Keep it right here, BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
All right. Bam. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate you so much. Dave, we continue to see the technology coming, right? We see it from Ping. We've seen it from no-cell technology. Items out there designed just to take away the temptation. And this is not the same as no-cell, right?
No.
This is kind of saying, hey, you know what? You got a message. Let's just automatic play it so you can hear that message.
Yeah, and look, its application makes 100% sense. You don't want to deny your ability to do the delivery type stuff, and you're going to need that information. Hey, don't ring the doorbell. Go around back or whatever. I mean, I think that's imperative. Instead of just turning it off, you're getting the messages as you need them. I think this is great, and also the idea that it can be to any individual or fleets. I mean, I like the idea that the user can just put it in, and I do get to hear an accent when it happens.
I know, there's nothing wrong with it. My cell phone is already sat back. You know that part right there. But I will say this to this trucking industry, and it speaks to, I think, the brokers as well, to trucking dispatchers, to truck drivers, to ownership. Everybody, listen, no longer is it just okay to have a policy.
No.
You know what? Not when there's technology out there that can help you. And you've got to just go above and beyond when it comes to safety. When you hear things like this for $2 a month, can that reduce the opportunity for you to
that sounds awesome.
It's there to, and I get it, right? Everything has a cost to it, but does life have a cost? And I think that's what we're seeing in the lawsuits right there is that, man, they had that ability to do more than just say it's my policy. Listen, we'll be back to you in about 60 seconds. It's still the phrase that pays day. Get ready. If you're ready, make sure you pull over right now because in 60 seconds, we're going to bring you on. And is it $300?
$300.
$300 to the winner that knows that phrase that pays. BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. And we are back. BCB Live, Drive Safe Dave. This is the time. And again, when I talk about Freaky Friday, let me tell you something. You can get a little freaky with $300 in your pocket. You can get a little freaky.
Get in trouble.
And that today is what it pays. It pays today to know that phrase. And producer, I'm going to ask you, can we get a caller? Can we get somebody on the line that knows this phrase that pays? Who do we got?
All right, let's see. We got Mr. Vincent Younger.
Vincent Younger. Guaranteed he's going to get it. Vincent, phrase that pays time.
Let's see. He's got his hand raised.
Here he is. I like it.
You're self-muted.
Halfway there, Vincent.
Yeah.
We lose him?
I don't know if he can't.
Vincent, you're halfway there. He's raising. He's trying. He's pushing that button. Vincent, I hope you're not driving right now. That goes against everything we're talking about. But if you can't do it, it's time to move on.
All right, let's go with Glenn Anderson.
Glenn Anderson. Hope you're doing well today. Glenn, can you give us that phrase that pays?
He's self-muted.
Glenn, you got to unmute yourself. I think we're trying. Here's the deal, Dave. If nobody gets it right now, hey, Vincent Younger, I'm going to give you another second. If nobody gets it, it's going to go up to $400. Maybe.
And we're going to make the phrase longer.
Maybe they're wanting this
Not
thing
so
to get
easy.
to $1,000 or $2,000. I don't know what the strategy
I would take the
is.
cash now.
I'm saying, you know what? I'm all in right now. All right, there's strike two. Give me one more.
All right. Daryl Shipman.
Oh. Daryl Shipman. Does his wife ride with him? So she's probably going to know. She's got Daryl. Wake
He's
up.
Self-muted. He's
Wake
self-muted.
up, Daryl.
Yeah. Wow.
Are you
No
seriously?
one. No one.
All right, so
we have people.
That's
We have
all
people
right. It's
raising.
strike three. This is how it goes. It's okay. It's strike three. Way over there behind the producers. Buckle up, Bob. And here's all I'm saying. So next week it's gonna be 400, right?
Uh-huh.
I'll throw in an extra 100. That's gonna make it 500. If Buckle Up Bob can tell us that phrase that pays right now.
He doesn't have a microphone.
Oh, he don't need a microphone. He can yell. Buckle up. What do you got?
Always.
Oh, it's too late. I try to put more money out there
The
for you.
safety guy doesn't know the safety slogan for the week.
Oh, man, I've been trying.
Hey, Glenn did type it out.
All right, what do we got? Is it right? What did Glenn type out? He's still good.
Oh wait, he didn't spell it all right. He said always think twice, B8 drive on ice. Do we give it?
Well, he's probably speaking it, right?
Yeah. Probably using the
I'm sure it's not B8.
B4.
Yeah, before. You know what? I think we can let that go. Yes, it's not B8. It's probably B4. What is that phrase that pays drive?
Always think twice before driving on ice.
Glenn Anderson, that's a $300 winner. Great job. Thank you for listening to Phrase That Pays. Drive safe, Dave. Tell us what that means.
Man, I'm telling you, as the weather changes and the inclement weather comes out there and you encounter this ice, make sure you're genuinely prepared. Make the right decision. If it's very icy out there, don't get out there. You can't drive on ice. If you encounter ice while you're out there, make sure you're driving the right speed and you get to an area which you can. You're going to encounter ice out there on bridges and underpasses. Just be careful. Always think twice before driving on ice.
So what he's saying is you can drive on ice, you just got to think twice before you.
Right, you got to do it. You got to do a recheck. Check yourself.
We'll be back with Buckle Up Bob, safety and weather coming up next, only on BCB Live,
the safest station in the nation.
Hey everybody, it's Drive Safe Dave here with BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. As you know, winter is upon us, and with winter comes some difficulties and challenges. Now, if you live below or running below that 20 or I-10 corridor, you may not feel that pressure, but if you do, let's talk about a few little tips that we have. Tip number one, let's make sure we get over here and we drain these air tanks. Let's get that moisture out of there so that we make sure, because moisture and freezing cold temperatures don't mix. All they make is ice. Tip number two, remember when air temperature drops, so does pressure in these tires. You want to make sure that when you enter into or near cold temperatures, you make sure that your tire pressure is and cold pressure stays correct throughout these cold temperatures. You want to be safe out there because this is where the rubber meets the road. Tip number three, if it's extreme weather and extreme cold conditions, you may want to make sure that you use an anticoagulant or an anti-gel inside the diesel fuel so that it thins and doesn't gel up on you in the lines or anywhere else. Tip number four, as you know, when you enter into the West, there are certain regions that require you to have snow chains and or snow socks in that region. Make sure that you carry them. And tip number five, I'm going to give this one to you as a freebie. Carry with you a little bit of cat litter in your truck. That way, if you get a little bit stuck or if you get near a region that doesn't have a lot of grip, you can throw that down and give your truck that needed oomph to get out of those sticky or slippery situations. For more pertinent and safety information, you can always tune in Monday through Friday, Central Standard Time between 7 and 8 a.m. and get that needed information on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Good morning on this Friday, everybody out there. Welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. It is Buckle Up Bob, and we're going to get you started off with some morning commutes in some of the major cities. We're going to start with the Fort Worth DFW area. A little bit better today than it was yesterday. Fort Worth, you look great. Really not much to even talk about. You can see all the thoroughfares look great. 35W from Burleson all the way up through the downtown Fort Worth area looks good. Again, the Dallas just looks like normal stop-and-go traffic. You know, a little bit of a backup in both directions over here north of Mesquite as you meet that Interstate 30 merge point. But the loop, 635 loop, everything looks great around Dallas. Just some normal stop-and-go traffic. And then I believe this is 360 here in Arlington. Got a little bit of a backup on the southbound lane there. But all in all, Dallas, you got a good commute this morning, it looks like. Houston, wow, Houston looks great as well. Great on a Friday. I mean, it really does. Just some normal areas at some merge points. Remember, we talk a lot about the merge points. You've got to slow down and be prepared to stop because traffic will come to a stop in these major cities. But again, 45, the northbound here in South Houston, a little bit of a backup. But it just doesn't look like there's more than a 10 to 15 minute spot anywhere in the Houston area. Even the downtown inner loop looks great this morning in Houston. So Houston, you all have a great commute this morning as well. And then we'll go to the next city, and it is Kansas. Well, we got to know if DFW and Houston are good, right? Kansas City's always good, and today's no different. 35 passing through the city and northbound on the northern side too, all looks good. The loop is clear, nothing going on. 70 passing through is also clean on both sides, Missouri and the Kansas side. So, again, great job there. Chicago, you've been great all week for the most part, but we got a little bit of issues this morning, it looks like. 80-90 across the state lines look good, but we do have 55 here as you get to Bolingbrook. We do start having some problems as you cross the loops. And then when you get close to 88 here, or not 88, but the inside loop, you see it in both directions. So again, Chicago, you got some problems. Eastbound at Aurora and Naperville, you have, again, some slowdowns there. You're going to have to be patient. And then coming in from the north, a little bit of a slowdown as well on 294. So again, some commute problems this morning, a little bit more traffic than we've been seeing. Just be patient, right? Pack your patience, pack extra patience. And then again, it is critical that you slow down, increase your space for the people that are going to cut you off, that are going to be stuck 3 lanes over and not realize that all of a sudden there's their exit. Instead of going to the next one, they're going to try to cut through. You have to be ready for this. And as we move to the next one, Nashville. Nashville, let's see here. Yep. Not quite as bad, but we've got the little stretches we always do on the northbound side lanes of 24 as you head towards Nashville. But the rest of Nashville looks pretty good. The merge point here at 24 and 40 looks good. 40 passing through looks great. The loops all look clear. And then our normal southbound on 24-65 merge point, not quite as big as it usually is. So again, you've got a little less problem there as you come into the Nashville area. So Nashville, great commute this morning. As we look at Atlanta, wow, this is the best I think Atlanta's looked in a long time, everybody. We can see a little bit of a slowdown here at 85, the southbound by Pleasant Hill, but the loop looks phenomenal. The northbound side here, between 20 and 78 near Clarkson, you got a little bit of a backup, but again, not too bad. Sandy Springs, always an issue. And then right as you get to the merge point of 285 and 20 on the eastbound lanes, you've got some backup there, but it really looks good in Atlanta this morning for a Friday, folks. Everybody, be careful there. Baltimore, phenomenal again. Just nothing going on there. Normal traffic, right? Rush hour traffic. Nothing that seems to be over the 5 or 10 minute deal there. The connectors, right? 95, 295, all look great. A little bit of a slowdown in Silver Spring, always a problem there. But look at this. Everything else in the loop in DC area looks great. The arteries coming in look good. A little bit of a slowdown on the eastbound lane at 66, right as you get to the 495 merge point. So that would be expected. But really a great commute as we go into the DC area this morning on this Friday. We look at Philadelphia. Jersey side looks great. Even the turnpike looks pretty good. We usually past Conshohocken. Not today. Well short of that in Narberth. And then again, it's all spidey, but we had solid red for a long time along the river there. Not today. No problems down south of Philadelphia either. So Philly also has a great commute this morning. Hey, we're going to go into some weather here. And again, it's what's coming that we got to watch out for. So we're going to kind of look at the current radar. And you can see there's just not a lot going on. Just some spotty showers, maybe a little bit of snow showers here and there. Excuse me. But all in all, it looks great. Our wind gusts, let's take a peek at them. We got a little windy down in southern Arizona. Going to kick up a little bit here, right here in the Midwest, or central part of the country, south. New Orleans on up to Memphis. Could see the 30s. St. Louis might see a 20 wind gust. So, again, nothing you can't manage. Just knock the speed down 5 or 10 miles, folks. But this Friday looks pretty good as far as the wind. As we go into Saturday, really only the east is going to have anything. But, again, we're in that mid-30s. You can see Virginia Beach has the potential in New York for maybe the 40s wind gusts. But, again, these are forecasted. It's going to be right along that coastline. So I think most of you are going to have a pretty good day tomorrow. And then as we move into Sunday, for the rest of the weekend, the winds kind of just really go away for yourself. So, again, nothing you can't manage. You're just going to have to slow down 5 to 10 miles per hour, potentially. As we look into the weather, wanted to look at the new snow because that's what's going to tell storms. Let's see. So the next 5 days. So you can see, not a whole lot going on. We're looking at the 1 to 2 inch range out here in the northeast. And that 10-day, Yeah, it's gotten better and better, folks. So again, Sir Rick asked me to try to do something for your snow because remember on Monday, Chicago's forecasted to get about 16 inches. So were they out on the East Coast, and now you're looking at 8.2 inches or 8 inches in the New York. Chicago's now forecast down to 6. So again, looks like it's going to come down a little bit. We're going to see some snow, I believe, but it's just not going to be that major snowstorm that they thought the potential was there. Looks like conditions have improved. Columbus is now looking at 12 inches. So remember, it was Chicago yesterday, so it looks like what they're predicting now is that band of snow is actually going to come in a little bit south of where the line. Remember, it was through Iowa City and Chicago and Kansas City yesterday. So now the line, the conditions they believe are going to come a little bit shorter. So, hey, we'll see what kind of alerts are there. We've got a new map that I want to show you. I've kind of mentioned the website. So one of the things that you can do is...
And Bob, I hope this is the right one.
It should be. It may be just a, let's see here. Counties. There we go. And then we'll look for some alerts. There it is. All right. So this is the national weather map. And so you can see when they've got little colored boxes in, you can hit those and find out what the alert is. Like in South, I want to think it's either fire or, oh, it's just not interacting very good. All right. Well, we want to just kind of see what these alerts are. Oh, there they are. Sorry about that. So Arizona. Well, what is...
Let me try something for you here real quick.
We need to freeze that somehow.
How's that? I make it bigger?
I don't know. When I touch it, because now it takes too long to scroll. Where are we at? Alaska? Okay. Do that. So here's your alert when you touch it. You can see air stagnation, nothing there. Let's look at some of the your Idaho Falls. You can get special weather statement. So you click on that special weather statement. So nothing going on there. I hate that it zooms out because it doesn't do that on the computer. San Antonio, we got some blue there, right? Freeze warning, freeze watch. So is what you got. So this is a great map. It's the National Weather Service map. And again, it gives you the counties. And when they're colored, got some kind of special color, you touch on them and it will give you the wind advice. So here, winter storms, right? This is where that snow band's going to come in. So you can do all that as you interact with this map. So we'll work on that for you all, but just kind of wanted to show it to you so where you can get the latest current weather alerts. Hey, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with some safety. good morning, everybody. Welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Hey, we've been talking this week a lot about the do's and don'ts. Had a great guest yesterday and want to remind all you out there, tune in Monday as we will have a follow-up from the legal side of the lawyers that defend truck drivers in these lawsuits. And we'll have some great advice for you on what to do and not to do to help yourself. The last one we want to put in there is medical. When you need medical attention, it is critical that you pick the right doctor. Don't necessarily go to your doctor. Go to a doctor that maybe specializes in these accident injuries because they're a little bit more trained and they can give you better advice. The other thing that you don't ever want to do, don't ever, because you feel better and the doctor still wants to see you, stop seeing them until you are instructed. Keep doing that. Keep records of it. This is all going to help you in the potential lawsuit if there is one. So it says choose the right doctor, go to them right away, and then don't stop going until you're absolutely instructed by that doctor that you no longer need his care. You may feel great, but keep going to him. It is important to your case. So again, that's the final do's and don'ts. Stay tuned Monday for the lawyer. We've got some, what? What are you laughing at?
Nothing. I was going to say, and I'm just going to go bounce out there. Maybe it's probably not the best idea to go to the doctor that your lawyer recommends, right? I mean,
yeah, you just want to find one. What's the old commercial? I'm not a doctor, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn.
Right. Yeah, normally you're going to stick to what where the company goes if you work for that company.
Absolutely.
On that side right there, and I know we are, this is new to us, but doctors can be late too. I know you said do listen to what the doctor, listen to what he said.
Oh, thank you.
Just kidding.
No, I didn't realize I did that, but yeah, you're right. I'm sure I did. Yeah.
It's okay.
Everything's a he.
Is there a little joke or something like that you never go through that?
Let's go to some
stop.
Videos.
Let's go to some videos. Hey,
this is a bad situation.
Yeah.
Do you run the yellow? Is it red? Is it yellow?
what was bad was he stops and look. The other car says no. I'm just going to stop
It's
and then
still
run the red. I mean, that was just crazy. And that guy almost missed. The Jeep looks like he missed.
It almost looks like the light's yellow.
Yeah, the one in the middle.
Yeah,
It looks like the.
I still have a chance before it turns red. Let me run this light.
Oh man. And this next one, again, yellow light. Be prepared to stop.
And
Now,
these decisions happen again when we see these, Bob. The decision doesn't happen when you get to their light yellow. The decisions have to happen, way back 20 seconds before this light happens. When you see it, and you're like, all right, it's been green for a while. There's no traffic going through it. It's going to turn yellow. All of these decisions is what we want is what really leads you to stop before you get to the decision to run through the yellow.
Yeah, and this one's really, maybe you guys could tell. I can't tell if there's an extra lane. Right here, the driver's in their lane, right? You can kind of see the white reflectors on the left lane there where that truck is. And then the driver straddles it, but it looks like right in front of him, is that another reflector there?
No.
Is there another lane here?
No, there's two things that's going on here. Number one, he's positioned himself in order to make a right-hand turn so that nobody gets into his right side, like squeezes up behind you or gets in that no travel area. Also, this is an intersection, believe it or not. Right here's a parking lot on the right. You don't want to always block the intersection, but I truly believe the driver is starting to position himself for a good right-hand turn and not allow anybody to get up. I think it's how you position yourself to be safe. I like the positioning of what he or she's doing here to do this.
Good, and we have that on recording, right? Because next week we're going to talk about turns.
Okay.
All right. We got Dave saying it was in a good position. Here again, the light, right? Flashing yellow. Make sure you're yielding to that, right? Then able to stop. Good job. And the box truck says, nope, I'm going to run it. Great job.
And then the four-wheeler.
Yes.
Close.
No.
Come on, man.
And you know what's really crazy is that truck or that vehicle probably because of his position not able to see. Oh no, he's definitely can see. I was thinking for a minute that box was blocking his view of the camera of the traffic light because you can't get a good picture. I don't like either. Also, I don't like traveling too close to another truck like this just because let them pass or get past you. But a good job of stopping.
Here again, get the big picture. Or this is another light. Sorry about that. Is this the same one?
You're getting the big picture anyway. And you know
Oh,
what?
yeah, I think it's just a
great
simple-
job. And that's what I'm talking about. The decision happens all the way before the the light actually turns yellow. It's that decision to start slowing down while that light is green to get position to stop. So that's what we saw in that last video and that's what we want to focus on because these intersections are incredibly dangerous.
Yes, they are. And one of the statistics we found were at intersections, especially in turns, one of the common errors, top 5, is you misjudge the distance in front of you. And that looks like what happened here because the speed was down. They were slowing down. And then this car stops, I guess, a little bit sooner, kept plenty of space. And I don't know why we're going back to this video.
Wait. There's 2 boxed videos, guys.
There's 3.
There's 3. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
Let's
lost
go.
on
We're
which
good.
one.
We're good.
Go to the last one. I want to show.
I'm good with this one right here. This is one we were talking about where you start showing. Then we have this video. So Bob, go on this one.
Yeah. And so again, you misjudge it, but make sure you got plenty of space here. Speed's 50 miles per hour, so should be able to stop, but probably just misjudged how quick the distance. And they say that does happen quite a bit. Kind of had to go to the side, but just make sure that you're getting that big picture.
I can tell you what's going on right here. You got all of the disco lights running on the left-hand side. A lot of distraction going on over there. Emergency personnel. Hey, what's happening over there? You got that rubberneck action that people are distracted on what's going on in front of them. They're paying attention to this wreck over here on the left. They're not watching what's going on, and then all of a sudden they have to hit the brake at the last minute because everybody's slowing down to see what's happening. That's what's going on here. And so when you enter into these areas that you see these disco lights or these distractions going on, beware of what they're going to do because they haven't been on the road as long as you have. They haven't seen 10,000s of these accidents, and they just can't not look away. I mean, they've got to stare at them. Most drivers don't care anymore. Most of them, they try to stay focused on the road. They've seen too many of those anyway, so they get tired of them. But I'm telling you, that's what's happening here. You've got these four-wheelers trying to identify, hey, what's happening over there in the oncoming lane.
Yeah, this doesn't look like the intersection is really clearly identified, with signage before.
Only on the road.
You can see it. Yeah, you can see it on the road, but there's not really any signs warning that there is an intersection coming up on you as well.
Yeah.
Tailgating, folks, got to stop it, right? You got no out here. There's a car. You're elevated, right? Even if you lose control, you're going down. This is just dangerous. You have to slow down, increase your space, and decrease your speed. I like that you're getting over for the merge and allowing people to come on, but you got to take the process all the way through, right? Don't do it halfway. Slow down and make that lane change.
Yeah, a lot of that starts with recognizing that you're in that position, right? And that's where we want you to recognize that you are tailgating, and you held your lane for a while, so give you kudos for that. But you've got to realize that I'm following to. I can't even count out loud. When in doubt, count out loud, Dave. And when you do this, you can't even get to one. You're like whoa, and that's it. Whoa, whoa. When you say was, as far as you can get, you're following too close. You've got to make certain that you back off, reduce your speed, increase your space, because if that truck ahead of this four-wheeler has to stop, if that four-wheeler has to stop, you're in trouble. You're going to rear end them.
Yeah, you're already in a multi-lane environment. You're already in traffic. I mean, you're already in a high concentrated area. It's just an elevated roadway, 3 lanes of traffic going both directions. You already know it's busy.
Absolutely. And this next one is scary. Great job by this driver. Look at this. This is a mess, right? Looks like a convoy almost in all the lanes. And the driver, you can see, continues to back out of this situation. Man, if something goes wrong up there, there is nobody getting out of that mess. It doesn't look like.
Everybody.
And here comes another one, right?
Yeah, they're all running too close.
Yeah.
And our driver does a great job backing
Just
off.
backing off out of there. That's,
Get out. Get your.
situation.
Yeah, you recognize it, and Dave, we talked about it on that last video, right? When you recognize a situation is unsafe, then it requires action, and that action oftentimes means you've got to back off, that you got to increase your space for certain. That always helps, and we saw it here. Kudos to you as you get the Sir Rick Award for practice and patience. Great job.
And man, you got to watch it all the time. Don't forget not to camp out in the left lane, right? This car goes by, no problem. and the next one decides to do it and make a legal move. They're mad because the driver's out here. Looks like, so they brake check them. Illegal to do so. Good job of this driver, just making sure. But just, hey, kind of be aware. Make sure that you don't camp out there. Try to share that road. It's usually considered in most states, right, Dave, as a passing lane only for trucks.
But still, four-wheeler. Listen, tell me, what are you proving here? You won't win the battle, first of all, right? What are you going to do? You're cutting them off. You're now getting lane. You're mad because the truck here, and I'm going to give the driver of this on this truck in this left lane, hey, at some point, he's going to have to get in that left lane, or she's going to get in that left lane to pass this vehicle in front of him. I don't have a problem with this right now. No. They've established a lane. If you need to get around them, I guess you either practice your patience, but cutting them off like this next one does, and then slamming your brakes, listen, you haven't accomplished anything. No. Nothing. It's illegal to do that. And it's definitely four-wheelers. That's stupid because I don't know what you're after. What do you want? You want him to hit you? Is that what you're after? You want? You know what? I'm going to show him. I'm going to stop in front of him. That's not the answer. Whatever it is.
No, that'd be like me going out and punching Matt McClister, right? What am I going to accomplish? I'm just going to get the crap beat out of me.
Yeah, I don't get that. But we see some great videos on here. We saw some videos, Dave, and I do want to end this as we go into it's a Friday. We go into the weekend. There's a lot of people that travel, right? And a lot of four-wheelers are out there on the road, and to many of them in their minds, where they've got to get to is way more important than where you're going. You're in their way.
Always have been.
Right?
Yes.
Always have been. Great point on that.
Always have been.
And the four-wheelers treat you like them. You know what? And you'll see them trucks are all over. Listen, if them trucks aren't all over the road, you're not going to have any groceries. No. You're not going to have anything. Nothing. So understand that the trucks own that highway. That's who's out. It's for them to move our product.
Yeah, that's what the interstate system was. Actually designed for, was to move commerce. I will tell you, this weekend, Bob, we talked a little bit. There is a nor'easter coming in the Northeast. Hey, be careful out there this weekend. Be mindful of the weather. Be cognizant of how it's going to change in your region and wherever it is you're driving, because it is important. let's have a great weekend, a safe weekend, a positive weekend, and we will see y'all this afternoon. You want to have a quick prayer?
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today to ask for your grace in all things. Father, we come before you today to ask to be better than we were yesterday. Father, we ask that we can be better for each other, better for ourselves. Father, give us the strength and the courage to go out and do the right thing and by the right way, and to do your will upon the world as you see it. Father, give us also this chance today to be safe for one another and safe for ourselves. We also want you to keep a great embrace on our drivers out there on the road. Keep them safe, keep them mindful, and keep them protected. Let's everybody get home. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Make it a safe one today. Make the decision today to stay off that cell phone. Make that decision today to count out loud, to increase that space when given that opportunity. Make the decision today to make it the safest day ever. Make today the safest day we have ever driven, ever. Make it that way. Do all you can to keep our country safe. Stay safe yourself. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. COVID, David's still out there. Do your part to make sure. Spray some gasoline, some of that diesel on it. Wash up. That gets rid of that COVID. Yeah, there you go. Don't do that. BCB Live, listen, we love you here, and we are the safest station in the nation.